thought about being a streamer or even a VTuber? Well, I, Gigi Kantan, otherwise known as GigiEasyVt on Twitch, am here to tell you all about it. Now, there's a lot to being a streamer, and I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll keep it down to the basics and what I think is most important to discuss, such as telling what it's like, what does it all take, how to do your best, and then one last really important thing. So starting off with what it's like, I want to begin by telling you all the good things that can come from being a streamer. Now, this is just my personal opinion of what I've enjoyed while streaming the last year and a half. In this time, I've made multitude of amazing, as you can see behind me, friends, and this isn't even all of them. I've met people who live in America like me, to people all the way over in Europe and Southeast Asia. I never would have met these people if it wasn't for streaming, and the friendships you can build with streaming are endless. Speaking of building things, you get to build your own community that you can be proud of. When I first started streaming, my community was small and had a few regulars, but now it has grown immensely and is constantly welcoming in new friends. You get to mold something from nothing, and seeing it grow and seeing people meet and become friends within it is always such an amazing thing to see. You're able to look at the community and just realize you brought a lot of these people together. The next thing is income. Congrats! You become a Twitch affiliate or a YouTube partner and can start making income. Now, I can openly admit that I am someone who, when I first started working, I did have a job and had two others the last year and a half of streaming, but even during the times I was unemployed, I still managed to make life work with my Twitch payout. However, when I was working and streaming, it made it nice to have the income from my job and be able to use my Twitch pay to save money up or use as my fun money while saving my job income. Streaming, though, can provide an income, and it's making money while doing something you can really enjoy and love. Opportunities in life can come and go, and the same thing applies to streaming. The first ones I'll mention are collaboration opportunities. Through collabs, you gain networking, and you get to basically showcase yourself, and if it's a big group collaboration you're invited to, because of a mutual friend, it's your chance to meet new people and show them how cool you are, and then if they like you, and you like them, boom, more collaboration opportunities. Before I even started streaming, I did networking. I started being more active in people's chats, and then I started building friendships with other streamers, and through that, I actually had a pretty smooth start to streaming. So you don't have to just do networking while being a streamer, you can do it prior as well. Some other opportunities include partnerships with companies, an example being how I am affiliated with Candle. Use code GigiEasy for 15% off! Anyways, sorry about that. I get a little excited at times. But yes, there's plenty of affiliations or partnerships available to apply for whether you're a big or small streamer. Some examples include Candle, as stated, Waifu Wares, Advanced GG, Gamer Subs, G Fuel, and etc. One last thing to bring up is getting to learn about yourself. Now, with this, I will explain by using my own personal examples. I've discovered what type of games interest me. I've always known I've enjoyed Osu and Valorant, but I've also found so many new games to love, like the Ace Attorney series, Portal 2, I even learned how to play Dota, which I had never even heard of until I met a friend. I learned I love digital art, and while I may not be the best, I've been getting to enjoy learning and watch my growth and finding my own style. Streaming has helped me find a purpose, and I've learned so much through it. Now, the thing is, streaming isn't always sunshine and rainbows, and I refuse to lie and say it is. Therefore, I will be telling you about some of the not so great things that come with streaming. First up is income. But Gigi, didn't you say income is a good thing? Well, yes, it is. But it can also be a not so good thing. Think of it this way. Until you hit a Twitch affiliate or YouTube partner, you don't get any income from those sites. You can accept donations, but donations aren't always as consistent as when people sub or gift bits. They receive stuff in return, such as badges, emotes, a place on the leaderboard, etc. Whereas donations, they don't entirely get a whole lot out of it. So yes, income is good, but until you can reach the point that you are eligible for that income, it's a lot to give and give with not much return. This is why I suggest doing the networking before you become a streamer. I managed to reach affiliate within the time frame that is provided within the first few weeks of streaming, and that's because I did networking beforehand so that people were interested in watching. Another problem is that you're going to meet a ton of cool and awesome people, but you're also going to meet some people who aren't the best. Scandalous things don't just happen with big name celebrities. There are people in the streaming community who are monsters hiding behind a facade. I won't go into some of these things too much as they are some touchy subjects, but in the VTuber community, it's even easier to meet not great people, because when their privacy is a model you can hide behind, facial expressions can't be read as easily, it's easy to be fake, to lie, and as much as it sucks, you can't always stay from it. Since it's so easy to be super fake, you may not even know the person isn't good until the truth comes to light, and that's the sad side of it. Streaming can also take a huge mental strain on you. A lot of people who have never streamed think it's just sitting in front of a camera and playing games for money, but it is a lot of hard work. A lot of streamers make content outside of streaming. For example, this YouTube video itself. And some of my friends make tons and tons of TikToks just for small-term content. And it's not as simple as just posting a video. This YouTube video, I made a PowerPoint for it, I got together a ton of pictures for it, made a script, filmed, and edited it. There's long-term content, short-term schedules, promotional material to make. There have been times where this has caused me mental strain, and there have been days where getting up to sit in front of a camera and play video games does feel like it's too much. Along with that, it's a lot to play a game, focus on chat, and keep track of yourself as well. Examples being, did I respond to this chat yet? Did I accidentally skip what someone said? Is my tone and volume okay? Did I fulfill this redeem? No matter how well you master these things or how many years you stream, there will always be a little strain from the dedication it takes. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is very serious. It very likely will happen to you as it has to me, my friends, and even bigger name VTubers. Parasocial fans can be insane. If you aren't sure what parasocial means, the exact definition is relating to a one-sided connection between a person and someone they don't know personally, such as a celebrity or fictional character, and this applies for VTubers. There are going to be people who will try and find out your real and very personal information, all because they wish to know more or be closer to you. I've never had someone dox me, but there are VTubers out there who have. With my personal experience, I've had chatters who have been in my chat for even just hours, and I talk to them the way I speak to all of my chatters, and they've asked me on dates or to be their girlfriend. And then I've played games with fans who then only after a few of them have asked what I look like with promises that they won't show others. With being a VTuber, most people do it for the privacy. I chose it so I didn't feel like I had to put on a full face of makeup, dress nicer, and pay attention so my RBF isn't being bad that day. I also enjoyed that I could keep my real name and full location hidden and only tell those I felt closest with. If you're a streamer who streams with your face, obviously what you physically look like isn't private, but that doesn't mean parasocial or creepy fans won't find you. Sometimes that's even worse because if they find you even a little attractive, you have someone around who will now try and find your location, real name, even stuff about your family. They may look for all of this just to get closer to you. One last thing, this can also happen if somehow the wrong person ends up not liking you. Someone doesn't like your content, they don't like how you spoke to them in a Valorant match, boom, your legal name and address has been leaked. No matter what, streaming can be dangerous if you want to keep certain things private. There's tons of streamers out there who are very open with a lot of their information, and that is completely okay to them. But be aware that this could be an actual problem, especially if you are a private person. Now that we've gone through what it's like to be a streamer, both the good and the bad, let's talk about what it takes to be a streamer. This will include stuff like social media, models for people who want to be VTubers, but also what it takes from you yourself to do. Last thing I'd like to say before going into this is that everything I'm about to say is just what I personally did. But that doesn't mean that it's what's right for everyone. You may find that what I've done has worked for you, you may find that what I did doesn't work for you. But I'm not the only VTuber that's out there, so obviously you can ask other VTubers or streamers what it's like and what to do. Now, for socials, what I recommend is a Twitter, otherwise known as X, and or a Blue Sky. Twitter is the most prominent and most used social media by streamers and VTubers. It's pretty easy to navigate and gets, I'd say, pretty easy traction because of the use of hashtags. Secondly, TikTok. TikTok is great for short-term content, and a lot of people actually find people's Twitches from a small video on there. You can also use dual streaming on Twitch and TikTok at the same time, and TikTok is super good at recommending even small accounts on their For You page. YouTube is a good platform for long-term content. hence what I'm doing right now. And you can post VODs there, so they're always available to watch. Because, on Twitch, at some point, your VODs will become unavailable. So a lot of people have a YouTube account for their long-term content and also a VOD YouTube account. And then lastly, you can even use it for short-term content with adding of YouTube Shorts. You can also stream on YouTube, but I wouldn't fully recommend it, as YouTube isn't that great with recommending smaller accounts on their homepage. The people who stream on YouTube tend to be VTubers who are already affiliated with a company or indies who went big and blew up before debut. Lastly is Twitch. This is obviously for streaming, and what I would recommend for streaming. They're good with recommending people on the homepages, and it's what most people choose to use to watch content on. It also tends to be the easiest to use as well. Now going into the talk of specifically VTubers and getting a model. You don't have to drop 1 to 3K on a model before even debuting and trying out streaming. There are tons of model artists who put a lot of effort into models and are proud, and then their VTuber child graduates within a month of debut because people find they can't handle streaming. I recommend looking at places like Etsy for pre-made models for when you first start out, so you can see if you even like streaming in the first place. My first model was made using resources from Vroid and Booth, and I did it myself. Then my chibi and first 2D model were free customizable ones I found on Twitter under the free VTuber assets hashtag. Once it feels like VTubing is right for you, then take a look around places like VGen, or ask fellow VTuber friends for model artist recommendations. I'm not saying you can't commission a model right off the bat, but be aware that it is a big investment before knowing if streaming is something you will stick with. Just think of the thought of, will the investment work for you in the end? Lastly, the drive and willingness. This kind of ties into the model thing, where think of these things. Can you pump out weekly content? Are you able to listen to a community? And can you plan and organize? You're going to want to stream weekly. The more you stream, the more people will find you and stick around. It's hard to want to return to someone's stream if they only stream once a week or even just twice a month. You'll have loyal fans who will stick around and come back, but some people will move on if they don't think you are providing the level of content they want. Next, with being able to listen to community, it's not wrong to play what you wish to play and share your favorite games with your community, but also pay attention to what they want to see. Can't decide between 2 games to play? Host a poll in your Discord on which they prefer. Can't decide what time to stream? Ask your community what times they are usually able to watch you. Pay attention, because your community is the reason you stream, and they more than likely are the reason for your income. Now, planning and organizing. This isn't too big a one, as I rarely do schedules currently as this video is being made, as I have a ton of projects I'm doing and I just stream when I can, but you also gotta plan and organize collabs. It's a lot more than just asking someone, when are you available? It's finding a time and date, figuring out what game to play, and how you guys want to set it up. If you do big collab events with multiple streamers, it can get even messier with figuring out when everyone is available. An example being that me and another VTuber hosted a Valorant tourney at one point, and that took 2 months of planning and putting out stuff to see who wanted to join and then figuring out when all of those people were available. Last few things that you'll plan are things like special events such as dono or subathons and follower goal celebrations. If you want them to be entertaining and fun, it takes a lot of planning that not a lot of people realize. It's not just finding a few ideas and slapping them on a promo poster. It's time and effort to find fun, creative, and new ideas that aren't overused, figuring out when to do the events or when to complete incentives from said events. You don't have to plan out every single thing, but you still need to be able to have that skill and put effort into that skill. With this last point, I'm gonna kind of repeat myself a little from the few of the other points we've discussed, but I hope that really shows how important these things are. With doing your best, I'm going to talk both on content, but also with your chat. A lot of streamers, I feel like, have trouble staying connected with chat, as if multitasking isn't really something that you had as a skill prior, it can be difficult to do. But before I keep rambling on about that, let's discuss content, as this one is the point where I'll repeat myself a little, so I'll keep it pretty short. Trends. The big thing is trends. If you want traction, look at trends and follow them. You don't have to be like everyone else and play every single trending game out there, but do it here and there. Also, it's not just with specific games. Prime example is that during October, there's an influx of people playing horror games since it's spooky month. Or something that I plan on doing that I'll let you guys in on a little secret with is for February, up until Valentine's Day, I plan on playing a few dating sims. Base content off of trending games and what would trend during a specific time of year. The most important though, listen to your community. I'm not gonna say much about this because I literally just talked about it, but listen to me telling you to listen to your community. However, once again, don't be afraid to do what you want, even if there's no demand. It took me 1.5 years of streaming to finally play Danganronpa because I felt no one would want to watch me play a game, especially a story game that I've already played, but I wanted to share it with my community, and every time I've streamed it, I've had so much fun getting to see people's reactions to things that I already knew. Now back to talking about chat. The biggest thing is to be engaged, but that is easier said than done. When I first started, I felt like it was hard to be engaged with a chat where not a lot of people were talking. And I even look at past clips and I'm like, wow, was I bad. But you can always just talk even if no one else is. Being a yapper comes with being a streamer. You gotta talk, and you gotta talk a lot. Find a way to relate the game you're playing to a story of yours. Another example would be if a chatter tells you about a haircut of theirs, and it's all you have to talk about, obviously ask them about it, and how it went, and then maybe tell your own story of a haircut you got that either you really loved or hated. It helps the chatter relate to you and makes you feel as more than just, someone who plays games, and it gives you something to talk about during those times that maybe chat isn't that active. Lastly, and the most important thing. Now, this is something that I have discussed before on stream, and I think it is one of the most important things, at least to me. And not a lot of people might agree with me, but this is how I see it. Be honest and transparent with your community. To some of these people, you are like the little sunshine at the end of a rough workday or school day. They look forward to your streams. So if you need a break, then take the break you need, but don't just disappear. I have streamers I've watched that if they vanished without a word, I'd be devastated. Back when I was sick and I couldn't stream as much and needed a break, I took the break I needed and streamed less days or for shorter times, but I explained it to my chat. I didn't give away too many personal details, as everyone's situation is different. Maybe some things you can't discuss, maybe some things you can, or maybe you're just not comfortable sharing them. It all depends on your digression. But I told enough so that they would understand. If there is someone who, despite your honesty, chooses to not understand and be upset that you need that break, then they're not a good fan. That is someone who doesn't see you as a human being. Because that's the thing, us streamers and VTubers, we are real human beings who go through real human being things, emotionally and physically. And we deserve the breaks we need or even just want. For example, think of it this way, you're a chatter. That day you chose not to go to work because you just needed that mental break day, or maybe you take a week off, or you go on vacation. You expect your boss to understand that you just need that moment. That is the same for streamers. Just because our job may not be as difficult as an IRL job or just anything, doesn't mean that we don't deserve or need those breaks. But the people who care about us and our communities, they deserve that respect and honesty if we plan on taking that break. As I'm recording this video, I'm currently on a hiatus that I desperately needed, and my community was understanding of that. And it's because I am honest and transparent with them. And I consider that the most important thing to being a streamer or VTuber. I guess you made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching it. I may be a small streamer, and these things may have worked for me, it may not all work for you. But I do hope it's given you a little bit of an insight of the life of a streamer and VTuber, and it can help you on your potential journey as a content creator. I'm GigiEasyVt, and I'll see you next adventure.